Hong Kong's economy is Anthony Chan. He's the former chief economist at JPMorgan Chase. Always great to talk to you, Anthony. As you look at the mainland's economy, it's growing overall, but Carrie Lam is still looking for ways to kind of jumpstart Hong Kong's economy. How badly has Hong Kong suffered because of COVID-19?
Well, certainly there have been a lot of issues that Hong Kong has suffered from, but Hong Kong is coming back. We see that certainly in the latest quarter, the GDP numbers came in a little bit better than expected. I mean, we're still going to have close to 5.5% contraction in GDP this year, but it's coming back and a little bit stronger. And by the way, it is the right place to go to China, because China is one of those economies that will grow this year, probably closer to 2%, as opposed to all the other economies that are suffering from this coronavirus. China is going to be a positive force. And by the way, even when you look at the export numbers in September, the latest ones, you see that there was a huge outperformance of Hong Kong. Their exports to the mainland, or to China, grew by 17%. That's much faster than it did through the rest of the world. Given that Hong Kong is an open economy, it is the right strategy to pursue.
Yeah, Anthony, I think you're hitting some really interesting themes here, because when you look at Hong Kong, it's such an international city. I mean, financial services, trade, tourism, it's connected with the rest of the world. And as we started off the show, we're talking about COVID-19. It's the second, third waves in places like France, Belgium, so many countries right now dealing with COVID-19. And as you mentioned, the mainland really doing pretty well, the economy growing. That really is a good move for them.
It is a great move, and hopefully Hong Kong can establish some sort of a travel bubble with China at some point, so that more activity and more coordination will take place, and that'll be good for Hong Kong. It will be good for China, but it will definitely be even better for Hong Kong, because it'll be able to grow a lot faster and catch up a lot quicker.
Yeah, but China as well. Globalization is such a big feature of the country. So talk to us, if you break it down, Hong Kong and the mainland. This coronavirus, even though both Hong Kong and you know, the city itself and the mainland have done a pretty good job of corralling it. I mean, there's still little outbreaks here and there, but they're really jumping on them. But the rest of the world, not so much. How's that going to impact the economies, both the mainland and Hong Kong, long term, do you think?
Well, long term, we need to see this medical issue get resolved. But we are seeing some signs on the horizon that the therapeutics are really gaining traction. And of course, the vaccine should be coming in the early part of 2021, become more widespread. So as those medical issues get resolved, then I think that the global economy is going to be ready to get jump-started, and that's going to be good for global economic growth. It's going to be good for China, but it's also good for the global economy. I know that sometimes it looks bad, but they always say it always darkest before the dawn. Right now, Europe is going through one of those flare-ups, and certainly the United States. But when you bring that vaccine into the picture, along with all the therapeutics we have, I'm pretty confident that as you look into the second half of 2021, that we will not be as worried about this pandemic as we are today.
And Anthony, she's going to Guangzhou and Shenzhen. There's been so much talk about the greater Bay Area and that linkage as an economic engine. Give me your kind of vision of how that's going to come together, and just how powerful can that be?
Oh, that's very powerful. My dad was born in Guangzhou, and certainly that great Bay Area, they're already doing it with regard to financial markets. Now they somehow can integrate it also with the imports and exports and coordinate economic growth. I think that there's no limit to the potential of continuing to develop that greater Bay Area. It's something that I know China has expressed an extreme willingness, and Hong Kong that has had some problems with growth. Last year, real GDP contracted by a little over 1%, and this year will be contracting. The expectation is that next year will grow, but it still has some catching up to do. So this is definitely a step in the right direction, and I hope that both the mainland and Hong Kong can find a way to work together on common ground to make it happen.
Anthony Chan, always a delight.